Hello and welcome to Transformative Taskmaster, the podcast by fans, for fans, and about fans. Today, TK is talking to Andys Cartwright and Andys Devonshire, the producer and director of Taskmaster. They're talking about the important issues this week, such as Patata's future well-being and ad breaks on the YouTube uploads.
All right, welcome Andy and Andy to the Transformative Taskmaster podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, very exciting.
Thank you.
So we have Andys Cartwright and Andys Devonshire. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right.
Absolutely.
Great. Is that right?
Yeah, so how you like.
Oh.
Devonshire.
Devonshire, okay. Because
Okay.
I as an American would pronounce it Devonshire, but that feels like too many syllables.
No, you can never have enough syllables.
Well, sounds good. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to have you two introduce yourselves and kind of a summary of your role in the day-to-day making of Taskmaster. So for me, you are, it's Cartwright first and then Devonshire second. So we'll go with left to right here.
Hello there. I am Andys Cartwright. I'm the series producer of Taskmaster and have been for 10 years. And it's pretty hard to describe the day-to-day role. Kind of do everything apart from direct with Andy and Alex, from everything from hiring the team, setting everything up from the start, signing up the cast, developing the tasks, doing everything right through to editing the show and signing off at the very end. So it's a very exciting, lovely job. We get to be across every little part of the show, which is very nice.
Sweet.
That's very distinct and very succinct, Andy. I'm Andys Devonshire. I'm series director and exec producer on Taskmaster. And yeah, as with Andy, I think there's the three of us with Andy, Alex, and Andy. We are across most of everything that happens within the show. So we're here from start to finish with everything that we have to do. Big difference with Andy is that I direct the studio and the location. So my responsibility is mainly for the visual style. So we all work together to make all the tasks work with the team and help run the team and make the show what it is. So we, like, for example, we're virtually editing the tasks for Series 21, which goes to the studio in September. And we've just finished the studio edit for Series 20, which goes out next year, later on this year. We're basically across every aspect of the show from start to finish. And like Andy, I mean, I made a film with Alex a couple of years before Taskmaster, and I helped pitch it in the first place. So it's kind of 10 years of working on it and 12 years of knowing about it, getting it up and running. So long time.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. The three of us had a drink. I bought a bottle of the best beer in the world from Belgium, bought us one each back from Belgium, and we actually managed to do it and had an evening's drinking.
It was a Monday. We'd filmed all day.
The only day we could actually do it.
Our first drink was a 10% beer. Our second drink was a very, very strong whiskey that Andy had. And then the third drink was absinthe.
Ooh.
And then we went out, and that was and then the next day we went in to do some more.
The next day was not good.
I can imagine.
But we don't get to do it often enough, nowhere near as much as we used to.
Yeah.
So it was very nice.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
So this most recent series that we've seen is Series 19. And I just want to shout out specifically Andy D. The locations for Series 19, gorgeous. Super. I was like, I think this is the most pretty we've ever had like location tasks be, because every single new location we had in that series was just breathtakingly beautiful. So that was really, really fun to watch.
I mean, Amy Tuckwell, who's our task producer, generally finds locations. We were very lucky. I mean, it's a visual show. We want it to be a visual show, so we found that place, and it just happened to have a load of mad places all close to each other, so we were able to have greater variety. That's the brilliant part of it. It has to be a visual show, and that's the law. And finding somewhere like that, I mean, I quite like the gritty, dirty places as well. We've had such a great set of locations. It's also good to find places that are a bit cronky.
Yeah.
And make them look beautiful, beautiful, ugly.
Right. Yeah, like the train station and the defunct amusement park.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. It wasn't defunct. It was just off for winter. It's closed for winter.
Looks defunct. I guess it looks defunct if it's not active. And any amusement park does, I suppose.
Yeah, it's true.
So we don't often hear much about how the studio recordings work behind the scenes. So what's the difference in your respective roles when you're filming in the studio versus filming at the house?
Well, I guess studio for me is I'm more across the scripts, and so I'm kind of running through the scripts with it's the only time we get properly with Greg, so I spend a lot of my time with him. So it's running through the scripts, doing any little tweaks with him, making sure it's all working okay, and doing his final thought at the end of the show. And then it's mainly just kind of, we do rehearsals. Well, that's both of us together. We do the rehearsals with Alex doing bits and studio task rehearsals with some guys, and then
that's actually one of the big ones is also the sorting out the prize tasks. So there's always something going on with the prize tasks where we have to have. There's obviously 10 prize tasks per day because we record 2 studios. So Andy often is juggling and dealing with the changes of studio prize tasks, which quite frequently happens the morning of. We have to change. Sometimes the tasks are changed. Sometimes they're other prizes are changed. Sometimes we just have to take new photos as well. So all the admin for that is quite hefty.
Yeah.
And then I work out how we record it, how we film it. So just running through with the crew about how obviously there's a set piece way we record things in many ways, but also we always like to change it up and have different ways of looking at tasks. And we run through the studio tasks and make sure we can film them in a different, interesting style. So it's working for that. Messing around, trying to sneak another camera in every now and again. Sorry,
right.
But also because we're across all the VTs, Andy knows what's going to happen at the end of each T and who's going to react to it. So he needs to relay all of that to the cameras. So they know what's going to happen, who's going to react badly or well to the end of each thing that we play into studio.
It's all about the story, so we're always keeping an eye on what we want, what we want to tell, how we want to reflect what happened during because obviously we've lived with those tasks for months beforehand. So it's trying to work out how we best reflect those as part of the studio, rather than just have a lock off of people reacting and going with it. We're trying to sort of always editorialize it through the visuals.
In series 19, there was a bit where Jason chucked something at a camera person in a VT, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't think of them as people." And and then Greg says something like, "I'd love it if you were out of focus for the rest of the episode." And then it just hard cuts to his feet.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
I mean, it's we're lucky to be able to mess around with that kind of thing. We because we're free and flexible to do that kind of stuff. Then we do that. I thought it's better than out of focus, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
That would have been like a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, for
it's
sure.
Always out of focus anyway. So
exactly.
Now, in the filming at the house task or in-person tasks, for Andy C, it seems like you cameo in a lot of the tasks. We see you more in a front-facing because you play guitar for several contestants. We've seen you play guitar for Morgana and for Fatiha, and then we've seen you being an Alex doppelganger for some of the tasks. And you were there for
his contract.
Is it?
He insists on it. He wouldn't do the job otherwise.
Well, I guess Well, because we needed a guitar, I played guitar, and so did that for a couple of times when they asked if anyone played the guitar. And then for some reason, because I've got a beard, if there's anyone that's meant to slightly look like Alex, then I'm called upon. But yeah, it's been a few times across the series. It's quite nice to do it occasionally, but not too much.
Yeah. Yeah, for those of us who are, I don't want to use the phrase hardcore fans because that makes it seem like we're better than other fans, which I'm not trying to say. But it's always nice to be like, it's Andy! Like, I know that guy.
Hey,
Because otherwise, you know, if you're like a casual watcher or something, you don't necessarily know that, like, that's one of the executive producers of the show just kind of showing up. So,
I have to,
It's all family.
I'll do a secret hand signal next time just for you.
yeah, sounds good. Now, I want to talk specifically just a little bit about Matt Baton's yogurt task, because there was like a lineup of people there watching him do it, so, which I assume was all just people in the crew, including you. So because that was so specifically intense, did you have to ask for crew members that would be like comfortable with that kind of thing, like watching it, or was everybody kind of like, yeah, well, you know, it's whatever, we've seen weirder stuff?
Yeah, I think I think nobody was that traumatized by it, and I also think it was just whoever was available. He wanted everyone that was there to be standing by. So I think that was everyone that wasn't holding a camera, or yeah, I think that was everyone, wasn't it, Andy?
Pretty much, yeah. Because it was after lunch and I was out getting lunch. But yeah, he just wanted it to be as traumatic as possible. So everyone that came in, and thankfully, well, our team know very well what's going on with the show, so I don't think they're that shockable.
Well, that's good, I guess.
I think, and what's quite weird is this was a year ago for us, probably
Right.
more than a year ago.
Yeah, so now you're having to deal with the what the heck is happening
Yeah,
reaction that all of us are.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's fun though? Sorry, go.
I was just going to say, yeah, because we've made series 20 and we're nearly finished 21, and everyone's talking about 19. You have to kind of rewind your head.
Yep.
And in particular because quite often because that show was slightly delayed, so that went out in May, normally goes out in March. So we had even longer between record, and you know, because Andy and I have seen that we've seen each episode 20 times before we come to it. So sometimes when it's only a couple of months later, where you can almost recount it word by word, whereas actually having another couple of months after, it was actually much more enjoyable to watch it back, because you'd forgotten, not forgotten, but you know, it was a lot more time had passed between then and when you actually recorded it. So it was actually more fun.
Yeah, that's good. So going back to the studio recordings, we know that Greg and Alex wear earpieces in the studio, and they refer to presumably you guys, like especially in the outtakes and stuff, where, you know, the gallery is saying to move on, and the gallery is telling us that they have this picture ready for us and stuff. So is it just you two on the other end, or is it other people? And then what do you generally use those to communicate about?
It's me and Andy, and basically it's in Alex and Greg's contract for us to whisper compliments to them all the way through the show. So that's all we do.
Amazing.
And whenever they refer to us through the earpiece, they're just making it up, just make themselves look bigger. We're just telling them compliments all the way through.
Pretty good.
As far as Andy,
they do also use us to make excuses.
Right. Yeah. I definitely have clocked that before.
You're thinking one thing in particular, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe. But it's fair enough.
And then, so I assume Andy D, you're more in charge of this than Andy C, because you mentioned kind of having clips ready, like pre-ready for Greg that you think he might want to watch again. Or are there instances where, Greg is watching the VT back and you have to kind of think about what he's going to want to see a repeat of, and then you have that in the can, or you kind of just do it on the fly?
We can do lots of them on the fly. Quite often we do them on the fly, but sometimes we have a few things pre-selected from him or from us that we know he's going to want to repeat. The actual process is quite straightforward, so that's actually an easy bit. So we're quite flexible in terms of, because we want it to be free-flowing organic, we normally just get stuff and anything they want or anything that comes out, because sometimes moments become bigger in the room than they actually are. So we quite often pull stuff out on the fly, if you like.
That's good that you can do it that fast enough.
Yeah.
And most of the time we've got James Cadell, who's our EVS. So he sets up all the videos and gets them ready to play in studio. But he's also he can be playing in something, and then Greg or Alex might say, could you grab that little bit of that look that somebody did? So he'll quickly rewind it and prep it and get it ready for when they call it up. And then he's very nifty and ready to throw it in when he wants it.
Nice.
When they want it.
And then does somebody keep track of the scores as you go along to update the portraits?
Yeah. So we've got a graphics person who's inputting those in all the time, and they have a member of our team sitting with them who we swap about. So it's either Andrew or Jenny or Amy or Gabby. Somebody will sit with them and or Clarence and flick through it and adding up the scores, and so will we, just so that we've definitely all got it right. So I think it's gone wrong once. But
Touch wood.
And then is it James that controls the VTs, or does somebody else do that?
James has them ready. Well, you can probably explain that bit, Randy.
So
he has them.
Yeah, I mean, I bring them on a drive. We put them in and into the system, and then between James and Bex, who's the script supervisor, they chop them up and put them into an order throughout the script. You then queue them within the script. There's then each VT is queued, and it has its running time, things like that. And Bex, the script supervisor, is always doing a count. So in the rehearsal, we'll go through a clip. So the clip's 3 minutes long. So we'll say, right, there's a pre-roll of a few seconds. He'll line up ready to go. So as soon as Alex goes like that, then we play it. It goes in, it plays, and then Bex will be counting everyone out for the floor manager to cue applause and for all the cameras to get ready and for us to sort of adjust and be ready for reaction of coming out of the VT.
Right.
So we have, the 20 clips or so, how many clips there are per episode, all lined up beforehand, and then they're cued and prompted between Bex and James, really.
Cool.
They fire them in, they do them off, and then they play them and we count them out.
So is everyone in the studio more or less just kind of taking a break, as it were, during when the VT is rolling, or are you kind of doing other stuff as that's happening?
Other stuff too. Everyone and part of the thing is quite often the crew, because there's a couple of members of the crew who've been shooting the VTs anyway. Everyone's watching what's going on. So we have to be reminded to come back in when that's what Bex does the count, because
right.
quite often they're enjoying the VTs. They're watching what's going on. So
yeah, well, that's good.
We've always got stuff to do. Always sort of lining stuff up, or just watching what's going on and seeing how people are reacting and seeing what's next, really.
And then for going back to the kind of giving direction to the camera people in studio, is that something that you do, or is it something that you have a special radio channel for, and you're like, hey, we're gonna cut to so and so instead of this other person because something came up?
I mean, we all have comms. I'm on open comms to everyone on the floor, so I just call the cameras when we're cameras between cameras and lighting and sound. If there's any changes, so I'm open mic, so if I swear, everyone can hear it. But basically, yeah, I'm just talking to the crew, the cameras, and I'll say what's coming up. But then during a conversation, I'll also switch cameras in terms of if someone's getting flustered or we want the reaction from someone, or know that, we want to see Jason's feet or anything like that. So
Right.
That's the plan, really.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears a little bit here, because I'm dying to know, and it might not be either of you, but maybe you know who it is. So the whole Greg and Alex relationship thing, like, somebody made the decision, the active decision, to lean into that for the social media aspect and just a lot of the scripts in the show itself. Can you tell us more about that? Because their dynamic is fascinating.
We're just covering the love. We're just documentary makers.
I mean,
Yeah.
fair enough.
That's all Andy. Andy's in charge.
I'm trying to think. I mean, their relationship has just developed naturally, and then I think at some point probably put in a script at the end of part they kiss, and then they did that, and then after that it sort of became a thing. But
I think it's just part of the ongoing playfulness of the show that they can, do what they like, and Greg's sort of opinion changes quite frequently throughout a show or throughout a series.
I definitely think that I remember way back, I don't know whether it was series 2, 3, 4, or 5, that there was we thought because Greg's generally mean to Alex, we started to make it a thing that at the end of the series, Greg would be nice to Alex in some way, just to say, I've done all that, but actually I really like you. And so there'd be some kind of nice, perhaps wrapped up in nasty ending to each one. And then it just became fun to have them being affectionate to each other as well. So there has been a bit more of that popped in there. And then when fan fiction came along, I think Greg finds that quite fun to play with as well. So
yeah, that was wild. I had to pause the first time I watched series 14, I think it was, or 15, when Alex brought it up, and I was like, huh? What?
Greg that was the one that found out about it, busy Googling himself.
Well,
I don't know,
we had Alex on this podcast a while ago, and he said that he was Googling Greg and Alex, and he just stumbled upon it and was like, oh, well, okay then.
Yeah,
so.
I think it was inevitable.
I think it's a very funny consequence of something that the relationship is genuine in so many ways, and it's playful, and it's given a chance to foster and develop on telly, so it's natural it's going to go certain ways at certain times.
Right.
It's quite funny.
Yeah.
It's Bert and Ernie or Ren and Stimpy or whoever you want it to be.
Well, it's incredibly fascinating to watch unfold. Okay, let's go back to the Taskmaster house. So it's quite a small space, we know, and we're talking before we started recording that you've really made it your own over the years with all the knickknacks and stuff like that, and the art. And from our understanding, it's still being rented. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So do you have to call up your landlord to be like, hey, we want to do this with the house? Or are you operating on more of a ask for forgiveness rather than permission philosophy?
I mean, we haven't blown it up yet. We just, we're just we just will make good when we return it to the landlord. I mean, I think, nothing we look after the house really well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously some people try to break it. Yeah.
Yeah, is he still on the roof? His little cutout?
It blew down. I did leave it there for a while, but it was a
crow got to him.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm listening. I've just been chased for the photos for series 20. which I've been trying to do for about 6 months. It feels like
Is it
I've got to shoot
that's
the
not the
press photos.
Oh. I was like
Series 20.
the portrait in Series 20 we saw a sneak peek of for the trailer. Yeah. And so this is the first time that we see Alex in a portrait, which is really exciting.
Because this Series 20 was a celebration.
Yeah. Very cool. Nice. So, okay, all right. Next question. What sort of briefing are the crew given for how much they can or should participate in a task while it's happening? So we've obviously got like the sneaky wardrobe people like putting tasks on people's backs, or the sound guy adjusting something and then, swapping something around. But on the flip side of that, we've got like Rosie Jones nicking money from the cameraman's wallet and stuff like that, where like they're not necessarily or like anytime the crew are involved for like, we need to get as many golden rings onto this thing as we can, so I'm gonna ask all the crew for their wedding rings. So is crew involvement like that something that is generally encouraged, or do you not really give the contestants like boundaries for them, or do you, or how does that work?
It's case by case basis.
Yeah, organic. It's always as organic as it can be. I mean, everyone knows Neil.
Everyone knows Neil.
Neil has money. That's why Rosie went after his wallet.
Yeah, I mean it's a case by case basis, because obviously we don't want them to interfere. I mean, we don't want to be too sort of in jokey, but I think it's kind of, you can very quickly say with a nod or a frown whether someone participates or not. We stop people if we think it's going to interfere with the show, and we keep it going if we want it to be part of it, really. But actually, it's the whole point about the show is to make it as real as possible, as Andy says, and it's so the moment they open the task and they get on with it, then anything goes. I mean, within reason. This is I don't know if it's actually the first one we did, but it's one of the first things we put into the into the green room. This is the only instructions for the cast when they come in.
Nice.
Taskmaster rules: you must not discuss any of the tasks with your fellow competitors. You must not break the law. The Taskmaster's word is final. So that's the law of the show.
Sweet.
So they don't, it's if they were going to do something that we didn't want them to, then I'd just stop them. And it's always one of those. It's a quite straightforward setup, really. And then the crew, a lot of the crew are returning. A lot of the crew are here all the time. The team behind the scenes and the camera crew are all. We very, very rarely have crew virgins in, so they know what to expect. And as I say, you can easily stop them from doing something with a shake of the head or whatever. If I don't want them to do something, or I don't want to be part of it. But mostly anything goes because it's fun.
Yeah.
I remember it was pretty nerve-wracking getting the task onto their backs for that.
Yeah.
How to get there? That was done in the corridor by makeup Chrissy. And it was.
She's so devious, though.
All of those things we never think they'd work.
That's one of the things of the show, really. Sometimes when we put things in that we think are so obvious, we think that they're going to clock onto it straight away, or they'll notice if you're trying to do something that's unexpected or whatever. Then we're really terrified that they'll see something and the moment will be gone, because obviously it'll be spoiled if they just saw the task. But having said that, if someone had just gone like that when they came in, we'd go with it. We wouldn't pretend that they hadn't seen it. We would go with the real moments, because that's funnier, I think. Rather, because it's not scripted, it's not a set up show, it's not lines, it is a sort of improv show in its essence, I would say. So we just go with it. The improv extends beyond the people in front of the camera to people behind the camera. Just coping with it and learning to it, and just covering up the bruises from getting hit by balls from Jason.
Yeah. It's I mean, obviously Jason was destroy like everything was his goal. Um I heard something, and I'm not sure where I heard this from, so I'm not sure if it's correct, but I feel like somebody said something like you had made sure to put Jason last in the live, not the live test, the in-person tasks filming, so that if he wanted to break something he could and it wouldn't really affect the other contestants. Is that true?
It wasn't quite true, but it was lucky that it happened a couple of times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
sort of happened like that because of we had to get him over in 2 solid blocks,
mm,
whereas other people's days are all scattered about, and he had to fly in,
right.
do days, fly back, and fly in, do 3 days, fly back.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably did work out that way, thankfully.
I think day 3 and location day were the last ones. I think everything else was mixed up a bit. But he didn't destroy everything.
No.
So out of the stuff that he did break, how much of it was actually beyond repair?
There were still 3 scars on the vinyl of the stage from him. So we had to, they're repaired with glue at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
So it's when he upended everything and ripped the stage. It was kind of quite an expensive repair. So
Oh man.
I just glued it.
Yeah. What's in the box was definitely, that was the end of those boxes.
Mm-hmm.
What did he break?
We threw a whole chest of drawers.
Oh yeah.
In episode
Stevie's
9.
pies.
Yeah.
Yeah, not getting them back.
Yeah, nothing was broken that was needed.
That's good. We
Thankfully.
were kind of afraid for Patatas because we were like, oh no, what's Jason gonna do? But fortunately, he didn't rip him apart, which was nice. But that kind of got us thinking, like, how many spares of him do you have? And are you aware? No, yeah, of Jason, of Patatas. And are you aware that he's now gone out of production?
He hasn't gone out of production. We just bought all of them. We've got a whole warehouse full of Patatas.
Good. That's what we like to hear.
No, he's been through worse. He went through worse in series 4.
That's true.
He's blended.
Yeah, he's really gone through it.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
The old in cat years now as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, he's an old man.
Yeah.
Now, we've heard that contestant teams for a given series are usually chosen based purely on availability and scheduling, but are there any teams you've ever tried to put together for a specific reason?
That might be the only way the teams go sometimes, but I'd say most of the time we do get to choose.
Okay.
And I think we quite like the idea of the Sues.
Mm-hmm.
Series 16.
Yeah.
And then a few series we thought it'd be good to have.
It's like David Baddiel and Joe together. It's, a lot of them are self-suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
Either complementary or contrasting styles. So, yeah, once you choose the Sues, then the other team makes themselves.
Right.
So there's always a reason to have them, and then a reason to change them. But often it's availability first, because you can't undo something. But then mostly we just say it'd be really good. Everyone wants to see this person with this person, or something like that.
Series 14, we never realised until after the studio record, and nobody had said anything, that it was John Kearns, Dara O'Brien, and Fern Brady were an Englishman, a Scotsman, and an Irishman. Should have realised. So I think we probably say that we did that on purpose.
We do now.
Yeah.
We do now.
That's fun. Okay, so going back to Series 19, there were really, really long versions of a task hidden underneath the table, and they were different for each contestant. Are those ever going to be released anywhere that we can read the full things?
We don't know where they came from. I think they're part of the table that we bought for the series. Don't know where they came from.
5 very specific tasks.
Did you watch them today, Andy?
I did. So we received a cut of it today and gave little notes, and so you will be seeing that soon.
Awesome. That's exciting.
It's a very long VT.
I bet, yeah. Now, as we know, every series has a different theme. So we've got nautical theme in Series 18 and the science theme in Series 19. So what elements are taken into account when planning outside of just the sets and the props? Like, we're talking the music and the visuals. And also, do you ever have any tasks that are specifically theme-based?
Big question.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of it. Have been not really.
First and foremost, it's the look, isn't it?
It's the look. The music, the look is one thing, but we don't really we use the set that we've got for tasks, but we don't base it on it. Generally, the tasks are already being developed before we've got the set.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the backdrop, it's the setting, it's the character of the show, the themes. I think if we had very specific ones, it quite often feels like there's one. In fact, there's one that we're dropping from this series that should have been in Series 18. There's certain ones. I think the setting is part of the show. I think we don't theme the tasks so much to fit the theme. It's just an interesting setting. If we just had the same, go back to Series 1, imagine if we'd kept it all the same.
Right.
It would be right. I mean, yeah, it's an interesting way, and it's a way to enrich and refresh the show every series. And we started off with artists, and now we've gone sort of more broader themes, and now we just sort of have the opportunity to play with loads of different settings.
And now we've run out.
That's it. Yeah. So, and also things like, you don't see the end of part, starter parts, do you, on YouTube?
That's correct.
Yeah. So what you're missing out on is the biggest pain in the arse. The hardest. There's a huge amount of work that goes into every end of part and starter part, because every end of part, starter part is different and distinct. Because in Series 1, I thought, let's do a nice thing with Alex throwing to break and doing that and waving and whatever. So we had him opening and closing the door. And it was really simple and straightforward. And now we have to have, because I want everything to look different, everything to feel different, everything to be fresh and different every series. Now we just go to loads of elaborate extremes to try and work out how to have him do that or that or that or that. Well, it's 10 different ways a series, 30 to 40 different ways a series.
Yeah.
And then times 20 series. So yeah, you're missing out over there. You have to.
Yeah, we really are. And it's very upsetting because not only are we missing out on the interstitial footage, but we're also missing out on the throws to ad breaks with Greg and Alex, because they do some wild stuff during those throws.
Are they on Taskmaster class, or are they Task Supermax Plus? Are they the seamless versions as well?
Seamless as well.
Right.
So, well, there's one video on YouTube from the official Taskmaster YouTube channel, and it's called like Lost Links or something like that, and it was from a recent series, and it's basically like just the bits that are cut that like we don't see, but like I have a friend who they do have access to like all of the cut bits in Series 18. Okay. We have access to the cut bits, so they do like little compilation videos for us so that we can actually see all of the interstitials and the throws to ad breaks and stuff. But I think it would be, I mean, I don't know how much control over this you have, but I think it would be fun to have more of those go up under Lost Links on the YouTube channel, because
162,000 views. That's from series 18.
yeah.
So that's what you're missing out on. So think of the pain that we have to go through to shoot those end parts, starter parts. Oh, we did that. We did. Yeah.
And to write the
end parts. Yeah. This is the one where we used the in one of these we used the Mae Martin dad's.
Oh yeah, the puppets. So cool.
Yeah. So me and Sam underneath the table puppeting those into a contest. They take ages.
Now I assume you two don't run the YouTube channel.
We were we're across it.
Well,
so
make it happen. Bring them back.
It's just time, though. I mean, they're so busy. Jack and Dan and Aaron are so busy doing the things they do.
Right.
And that's 600 end part, starter part, and links. 600 end part, starter part, brake bumpers.
Well, maybe I can get my friend in touch with you guys, because they've basically done all of them.
Wow, that'd be
good.
That would be helpful.
Yeah, I'll set you up. So obviously a lot of work goes into those, and like the visuals for it are really, really pretty. Do you guys plan those, or does Alex have ideas for those? Because mostly it's him doing the holding up the fingers and stuff like that. But like, who's in charge of actually planning? Like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use balloons this time.
I think it's mainly
basically me.
Yeah. I think I used to do it more, but I think now just suggest them. I think Andy comes up with most of them because they're usually based on the tasks from the show, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then
all the location. It depends on it depends, but yeah, any suggestions gratefully received every time, because at a certain time, especially when we do one based on task, then drop it.
It's
mostly me, because I just get to mess around with the camera, so that's basically what happens.
So is it mostly just you and Alex, and you chunk a bit of time out for filming those?
It's mainly me and the crew, and then I'll grab Alex and we'll do it. And then if anyone else got a suggestion, we use it, obviously, but we pretty much fit it in around. So we're planning a couple tomorrow and going forwards. So it's just another one of those things that adds to the list in terms of what we need to do as part of our normal days. And obviously there's a couple of days that I have shooting beauty shots and setup shots for the show and series, and we do some as part of those. Like, I remember they had like melting ice numbers on the weather vane, stuff like that. So the ones I try and obviously the ones with Alex, we try and do as efficiently as possible within the body of the normal showing, normal filming. And it's just part of the shot list, really.
Now, Greg used to be in quite a few of the interstitials, but seemed to stop around series 10. So was that just a choice that you made, or did Greg just become kind of too busy to come do them, or was it a creative choice?
Just don't have him around the house. He's been busy.
He's had some really big projects on, and then
series 10.
Yeah, we've got such a small window of opportunity, so we'll say, can you come on one of these 3 days? And if you can't, then we don't. We definitely still like to have him there to do them. I don't know if it'd look odd now suddenly having Greg throw Alex in a bin over a fence.
That'll be fun. Well, he'll be back.
Good.
He'll be back.
Well, if you can put Alex in a series portrait, then you can put Greg back in the interstitials.
It's just chance and opportunity.
Yeah.
Because he loved you saying he missed coming down the other day, so we'll get him back.
Yeah. Good to hear. We were talking about time lapse earlier, because I know some footage especially for interstitials and task intros, have utilized time lapse. What would you say is the longest you've ever had a camera set up recording?
4 days.
4 days. What was it? Which thing was it for?
I didn't make it.
Oh
no! It was. I've had quite a few. I mean, we don't really want to talk about it because it's me leaving my cameras around. But I did I was trying to get a star lapse of the stars over Taskmaster House, and so I arranged a thing where I had mains powered battery, and then it ran for 4 days, and some of it worked, but it wasn't as good as it should be. I mean, basically, the time lapses I'm mostly here doing them manually. I think as soon as you start leaving them too long without supervision, then you have to adjust the exposure. You can leave it on auto, but it doesn't quite work. So it's often there, many days, many long days and hours. And I had my most recent camera casualty, because I've lost quite a few cameras in the course of the show. My most recent one, a time-lapse camera got picked up by a fox. A fox picked it up, and we only knew this because I got back in the morning, and it was in the middle of the road, or middle of the pathway, and basically we only knew because it was on time-lapse, so I didn't have what happened on. I just had shots of different changing angles, and basically a fox picked up and dropped it in the middle of the pathway and smashed the lens.
Oh.
So it was so annoying, because if it had been on video, then we'd have got the action of it being picked up and taken across. But
right,
it was on time lapse. 10 seconds later, it was destroyed.
Oh, man, that's too bad.
Yeah, I've been through quite a few cameras.
I bet. Any crow related camera accidents?
One of my favorite ones was a crow taking off the head of a Alex and Greg snowman. Had them set up in front of the caravans, little Alex and Greg made of snow, and then I put bread on top of them, and then one of them came through and knocked Greg's head off, I think.
Wow.
That's them. I mean, we're really lucky that it can be a playground for visual styles, because I'm here all the time, and I've got a time lapse going at the moment because the clouds were really good. In fact, I might go and stop them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's the flexibility, because we're here all the time, then I can do extra shots. I've been filming some stuff today for next series. It's just the opportunity to do so alongside doing everything else that we're doing. So I always bring my bag of cameras in and we dick around. So
always a tinkering.
Yeah.
Always a tinkering.
Very cool. I feel like there was a 360 lens related question somewhere. That I'm not finding.
I've broken 4 or 5 of those.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So there must be so much stuff cut on the editing room floor, particularly in studio discussions and chatter, that sometimes makes it into the outtakes. But what are the chances that we'll ever get to see more than whatever we see in the outtakes, or, for example, what we call an XL episode?
Very good question.
Yeah, we've long talked about it. I think it's mainly because our year is so compacted. We did studio, and then afterwards we had 4 edits running for the studio shows, and basically the whole thing was edited. The whole series was edited and finished off in about 4 or 5 weeks, and then we're straight back onto filming this. And to do extended cuts, it would need more time and money.
I think
and we'd like it, but
I sort of think it's more existential than that, Andy. As we've frequently discussed, time is one thing, but we could also spend our lives recutting those shows, and it might not necessarily improve them in terms of there is extra stuff that's in there, and we cry every time because we're always cutting lovely bits out. But there is also a limit to, and obviously, we appreciate there's a great fan base out there that are interested in these things, but there's also a fine line. I think there's always a balance between overstaying your welcome and making something the best it possibly can be. We always literally cry because we know we have to lose some amazing stuff, but then there is always the world for that in the outtakes. I think there's a very different experience when you're in the room sharing the time with the cast and the rest of the audience, and being carried on, the momentum and the funny and the sort of the jokes that work in the room that don't work on TV, because it's about being part of the community. It's like Greg often does he calls up when he wants to see a funny moment again, like Stevie running across the floor. He'll call that 5 times and it's really funny in the room, but if you then did it on the show, you then have to cut out so much else in order to have those bits back, and it's about being in the momentum of the room. So there are a few things like that, and also the sort of extended chats. We like to think we get the funniest and best bits. Obviously we won't always get it right, but I think it's making the show as good as it possibly can be, and I think part of that is the edit to reduce the time. So I think sometimes if you saw a 2.5 hour stand-up show, it's probably not quite as funny as a 2-hour stand-up show, because even though you're bombarded by brilliant gags, there is a limit to how much you actually want to be there, sort of thing. I think.
Right. Yeah, you are missing out on stuff, but it is. Yeah, you'd need to make it work for a specific time. I think it's not as simple as just a long cut of the show, unfortunately. But it's I mean, the first cut we see is usually about 50,
53, 52.
3. So that could be kind of one option.
But then for them, we cut it down and make it better. I mean, I think we could often have a 50-minute show, I would say, and it wouldn't be that different. I mean, I don't know. It's really hard. I mean, yes, in a perfect world, we'd have a sort of different system, but then I would guarantee that if we delivered a 60-minute XL, there'd still be bits where someone says, "Oh, where's this big?" And whenever anyone says, "Oh, why didn't you put this outtake in the show?" It's like, well, then which bit would you have taken out?
Right.
And also that outtake. Because often, great moments have to be earned within the body of a show. You can't just have, just sometimes they work as clips and they're great, but other times it's about the context, it's about the build of the show and about how you got to that point. It's not just the payoff of the funny line. You've got to earn that time, so you need to put 5 minutes in to get a punchline that's it's not going to work.
Well, maybe just post more outtakes. There's your solution.
I think there are more coming.
Awesome. Good. We love to hear that. Well, I want to be cognizant of your time, and we do have so many more questions for you. So I'd love to have you two back at some point. Obviously, doesn't have to be right away. I'm actually going to Poland soon, until August. So my first time in Europe, which I'm excited about.
So you're in Poland. What are you doing in Poland?
I met who is now a very close friend through the Taskmaster fandom, and they live in Poland, and they've done a lot of really gorgeous art, like fan art and stuff, and I've had Greg and Alex sign it and everything, and it's very cool. So because I went to the New York City premiere of Series 19, so I got to run into them for that. But so we're gonna go over and hang out with them for like 10 days. So it's going to be a good time. But cool. I mean, it's really, I love the Taskmaster fandom section that I'm in, because I have made so many really, really close friends who live all over the world, which is incredible. And it's like, if it wasn't for Taskmaster, I wouldn't be going to Poland in a couple of weeks. So it's pretty cool.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
That's
All
very
right.
good. I mean, you should find like-minded people, and if the show brings you together, that's brilliant. That's
Yeah.
lovely to hear.
Yeah. That's very fun. All right. Well, I will end it here, and we'll hopefully have you two back for a part 2 sometime soon.
Well, lovely. Thanks for having us.
All right.
Keep on enjoying the show.
Thank you.
And in
Okay.
Poland.
Happy Poland.
And once again, that was Andy Cartwright and Andy Devonshire having a fun little chat about the show. Don't forget to visit our Patreon, where members get first pick for questions, as well as exclusive content. And don't forget to subscribe on your platform of choice so you never miss an episode.